Slinging Dirt with Staley, an in-depth conversation with the drivers themselves about the inner workings of a dirt track racer's world. Dive deep under the helmet and inside the mind of the people who ride the high side, lift that left front wheel, and teeter on the edge of being out of control. New Slinging Dirt with Staley starts now. Hello everybody, huge thanks for listening to Slinging Dirt with Staley. I'm your host, Alan Staley, and on this week's show, I have the young open-wheel driver and Bethany, Missouri native, Paden Moreland. He comes over to the house and we talk dirt track racing. From the differences in open-wheel division to how horsepower can make the separation between a top 5 car and that winner's circle contender. Paden talks about his days in the Midwest Lightning Sprint, racing a midget at Valley, what it's like racing a car before you can legally drive one, and how family makes race day that much better. Plus, his take on a very self-confident Mount Rushmore of racing, and even more on an all-new Slinging Dirt with Staley, starting right now. I know you've been around the track for a long time as a fan, and then it was almost like one year you're just like, all right, I want to drive now.
My stepdad, Roger, and my mom, they really, I wanted to do it my whole life. They allowed me to do it, really.
Yeah. How much longer do you see yourself racing? Do you kind of want to stick around?
Probably my whole life.
Why the number? Is there any big significance? Because you kind of changed numbers a couple times on us.
The 19, it was when I bought my Lightning Sprint, it had the 19 on it, and it kind of had a story. I don't know where he passed away at, but he was racing a Lightning Sprint, and he got killed in one, and I kind of wanted to, keep the number.
Carry on the tradition and everything. That's really cool.
The car was a tradition to him,
nice.
I believe.
And so you just kind of kept that going, and let's talk about your first time out there in a Lightning Sprint. What was it, turn 4, heat race or something?
Turn 4, I hit the wall.
Did you learn a valuable lesson that day?
Yeah.
I mean, speed is good, but sometimes speed can come up and bite you.
Yeah, it really hurt, I was pretty little, so it really hurt me.
A learning experience, though.
Yeah,
definitely a learning experience. What's the mindset like on a typical race day for you? Like, where's your focus at? Is it just on the track? Is it trying to keep things loose?
Usually we go up to the shop, get it all ready. Usually I wait till the last second to do anything to it.
Yeah.
Then Roger's always after me because I want to do something last moment.
Mm-hmm.
And, that's about it.
That's about it. Just kind of go to the shop and just kind of hang out until it's time to go to the track. Is there any rituals that you do? I mean, some don't wear green, others don't wear deodorant. Myself, I have to have at least an energy drink or a Mountain Dew near me. Do you have any quirks that just complete your race day ritual?
Nope.
Nothing sticks out. How do you deal with the internal fear? Because let's face it, you're doing something that's kind of dangerous. And you learn that your first time out. It's a little dangerous and it can hurt. How do you deal with that? How do you get over it?
When you get, you think about it, there's been some really good people pass away in our sport.
Yeah.
A lot of, more, 75% of them is open wheel. So it kind of scares you when you get into open wheel stuff, sprint cars, midgets, Silver Crown, stuff like that, and you think about it, but it's something you love to do, so you just do it. When you get in the car, you don't think about it.
You don't think about it. All bets are off once you close the visor and you hit that go pedal. I skirted around the topic quite a bit, and it's the money aspect. What besides the financial strain is the biggest negative aspect of our sport? Because you mentioned the fear a little bit. The money is big, but what besides the money and the fear is there? Is there anything negative that kind of drains a race day for you?
Some money.
Money.
The Lightning Sprint deal was a good thing.
Yeah.
We had a $1,000 motor and we were winning with it, and we wish we could have went on with the Lightning Sprint, but it was just time for us to move on. The midget deal, you have to have at least, with my car, we had it was the most cheapest motor you could get, really. It was a $250 motor. Ray Boyles is the one that came up with it. He got tired of the S-slingers because the money aspect of it.
Yeah.
And, with the midget, you have to have at least an $8,000 motor to do anything.
Average week during the race season, how much time do you spend in the shop working on the car? Is it kind of just a whole family deal where everybody jumps on it, or is it you down there working on it?
I've had some really good people to help work on the car. Roger and Jeremy, my stepbrother, and Monty, and Grandpa Shorty, Roger's dad. He kind of sits around and watches us, and thank God for him for the shop, because if we didn't have that shop, we would have just been, I don't know what we would have did if we didn't have the shop.
Yep. Where does the motivation come from? I mean, to get behind the wheel, you're taken away from weekends at home, you're taken away from all the hours that you're spent wrenching. Let's glance over the out-of-pocket expenses. It all adds up and takes its toll. Why do it? Why keep driving?
It's just because I love it.
The passion is that big?
The passion. I've had passion for 2 other sports, but, you can't do them your whole life.
Yeah.
Wrestling and hockey. I did hockey for quite a while.
Nice.
I loved it. But, the skating rink shut down, and we were kind of... So, I really think that's where we started racing, was because to get me a car, because I didn't have nothing else to do.
You didn't have the hockey to go back to. You wanted that little bit of danger aspect, because I noticed there. Other drivers have kind of referenced this a little bit. You get behind a wheel, there's this sense of clarity that you have where you don't think and you just relax and react. Can you kind of elaborate on that? Are they telling the truth? Is that...
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think about anything when I'm in there. I just
whatever
race.
Happens, whatever comes at you, you're ready for it. When is it that you had this sense of, I'm no longer just out here turning laps, I'm actually one of these front runners and I'm a contender now?
That was really exciting because we bought that brand new motor, and I was a 5th place position car, and I got that brand new motor. And I won the heat race. First time I had that brand new motor, and I won the heat race. And that's when I really realized was horsepower is a really big deal. Yep. Especially on a tacky track. Dry slick, you can kind of don't have as much horsepower, but you still need it.
Yeah, it still comes into play.
Yeah, especially when it goes rubber down, and you have to. Then you do need it. It goes from tacky to dry slick. Then it goes to rubber down. Rubber down racing is just terrible racing. Open wheel guys just really don't like it.
Yeah. On that kind of token, competition or camaraderie, how do you view your opponents out there on the track? Are they friends in the pits?
I have respect for a lot of drivers, and I don't have a lot of respect for some drivers. Some drivers I just can't stand.
Yep.
I've always, before I got into open wheel, what I was interested in was modified racing. Mostly Stephen Glenn.
Yeah.
He could, not the best equipment, and he could whoop them every time.
Yep.
And that's really when I realized was you didn't have to have the best to win.
You just need to have the talent and the motivation behind that to get up on the wheel and actually drive the car. The biggest wreck or the scariest moment you've had behind the wheel, is there ever this moment where you're just like, nah, I'm done, I don't want to do this anymore?
No, I wrecked that midget down to 35, and that rang my bell pretty good. It was mostly my knees that hit the steering column in the front of the car, and that was the most painful wreck I have ever had. My knees, even after a couple of days, they still hurt. And that was about the worst wreck I've ever had.
Now, after that wreck, what made you realize that, okay, I'm back now? I can go back at top speed. I'm back being the competitor that I was.
it really didn't take me no time, really.
Yeah.
I just went back at it.
You can't be afraid of it. You just got to get back up on that horse. 5 laps left in a race. So it's really close racing. Car's running good, and it's getting better as the race goes on. Where do you want to be on the track to put the car in victory lane? Do you want to be out front, leading the way? Do you want to be in second, on the heels? Do you want to be in third, weaving back and forth?
Well, with the lightning sprint, you want to be first because, you can't, I guess you can't, it's harder to pass than one of them than, in a midget you can throw a slide job, with a lightning sprint you really don't have, you never see a slide job with the lightning sprint because there's just not enough power.
It gets more stretched out in lightning sprints. Let's go with, you're going to stop at a gas station on the way to the track. What is your go-to drink snack combo?
A Powerade and a, heck, I don't know.
Well, what kind of Powerade? We can't just gloss over blue Powerade. Any chips or candy bar or anything like that?
No, not really. No.
Just the Powerade. All right.
Powerade.
What's your dream car? What do you want to go get groceries in on an idle Tuesday?
I'd like to have a '69 Camaro. My dad had one.
Nice.
It was a really nice car, a 396 SS. That car is worth $100,000 today. My dad paid $2,500 for it.
Nice.
Back in the day.
What goes through your mind when you're sitting in that staging area getting ready to take a green flag?
I think about what I'm going to have to do to win. Wherever I'm going to start, I think about, if I'm starting on the front row, you're going to have to be like, you can't let anybody pass you. Because when you start going back is when, it's going to be harder to pass them. If you're starting back behind, you're going to have to think about, with the lightning sprint, you're going to have to do it right off the bat. You're going to have to jump out and do it right off the bat because they get strung out and you can't really pass much. With the midget, you really wherever you start, you can still go forward.
Yeah, and the car will kind of come to you as the race goes on. You kind of glossed over it a little bit there in 2015 with your Midwest Lightning Sprint. You pick up your first win. Is there anything like that first win?
Absolutely not. That was absolutely awesome. I didn't see it coming. It was on my mom's birthday. My mom's brother's birthday.
Yeah.
It was awesome. It was emotional. I really never, that night when I came to the track,
Didn't expect it.
Yep. I figured, third, fourth, maybe
a consistent run, but then you got it out front and you seen those checkered flags.
Yeah.
What was going through your mind coming off of turn 4, seeing the checkered flags?
I just couldn't believe it. It was more, if you really want to get down to it, it was more exciting for me to get my first heat race win because that was my first win.
Yeah.
Then the feature win. I should have had 2 that night, but I didn't.
Yeah.
I wish I would have, but I didn't. But
is there any specific tracks that you like more than others? Are you a short track versus a long track, a high bank versus a short track? Kind of know what I mean, or is it racing's racing? It doesn't matter where you're at as long as you get to be behind the wheel.
I like Valley, but I like 35. They're just two different. You got longer straightaways at 35 than you do at Valley. Valley is kind of short track. You're right back into back into the corner. I really don't have a favorite.
You kind of flirted around in the E-modifieds for a race or two. Any chance of going back to that, or are you strictly open wheel?
No, I'd like to thank Stephen Glenn for letting me have the opportunity, but it's just running open wheel stuff. You just can't go to a big car,
Yeah, I get that. What's your go-to move coming out of turn 4 to the checkers? Which do you prefer?
If I'm getting pretty good around the top, getting pretty good around the bottom, I'm not gonna risk doing a slide job and hitting the other guy and wrecking before. But sometimes you have to. But that's just not the way I want to do it.
And we're in the off season right now. What's your favorite thing about it? Is it working on the car, setting it up for next year, the relaxing weekends, or do you just not like anything about off season where you're counting down the days to you?
Just count down the days, really.
Anyone in particular you want to give a shout out to? Say thanks for everything they've done in your racing career?
For sure, my mom and Roger. They were the biggest. If they wouldn't have gave me the opportunity, I would have never did it in my whole life. Maybe when I got a job, I would have for sure did it then. But not as young as I did.
You started out very young. I mean, showing my age here, I can still remember you on the bleachers there at I-35, going through the stands, waving at you guys every time by, and it's a family atmosphere with your race team. Anything in your race career that you haven't done yet that you want to? Because 2015, you pick up your first win. 2016, you're the midget rookie of the year. I mean, your learning curve was pretty quick, and you're quite accomplished at such a young age. Straight slinging dirt, asphalt in your future?
Absolutely not. I will never go to asphalt.
Asphalt's for getting there. There's for racing. Yeah, I agree. There's a lot of changes going on kind of for the next year. Any plans, any changes, anything like that going on? Or are you just kind of going to play it by ear, whatever happens, happens?
Play it by ear, hopefully I can get Roger talked into some stuff, but if I can, I can. I don't know.
I want to play this game. It's kind of a new thing I've been thinking about on the podcast. It's a number association. So I'm going to say a number, and you're going to tell me the first driver that pops into your head whenever I say that number. So with it can be NASCAR, it can be local, Formula One, it doesn't really matter, sprint. So say 5. Who do you think of?
Mark Kinzer. I think he was number 5.
19?
19, me.
Yeah. 22.
Mitch Brewer.
Okay. 77.
Dean Ray.
Okay. 88.
Jeff Dixon.
Nice. 99.
Jason Estes.
Okay, I like it. All right. I am the staple of the show, the question that I ask everybody. What is your Mount Rushmore of racing? It can be all NASCAR, all dirt, a blend of both, however you want to do it. Your top 4 drivers in your mind. Favorite person to watch, compete against, legends in your mind, it doesn't matter. Top 4, go.
Oh, probably Sammy Swindell, for sure first. Sam Haverty, I like watching him.
So winners. I'm seeing pretty much a trend right here, a lot of winners.
I like watching, I don't know, Stephen Glenn.
Glenn. Superman himself.
Yeah. Then probably myself.
You're going to put yourself on the... you got to have a little bit of confidence. You got to have the confidence whenever you go onto the track. I like it. All right, that's all I got for you, buddy. I appreciate you coming over to the house and talking racing with me for a little bit. It's been a pleasure, my friend.
Thank you.